So, welcome. Intro to Philosophy. This is Epistemology, Intro to Epistemology. We have readings to cover this, but the lectures, I'm hoping, will help you, understand the material in a more organic way. That's the purpose of these. So, this will be the first in a number of lectures that you will get from me about stuff. Isn't that cool? Super specific. I'm good at this. Anyway. Okay, hope you're all well, by the way. Alright, so. Epistemology. What is epistemology? Traditionally, it's the study of knowledge. I'm contrarian, though, so I don't like that. Because I have to have a problem with everything. That's just who I am. I prefer the study of noetic states. But that's just me being a pretentious jerk, because nobody knows what noetic means. I mean, okay, yeah, I know what it means, and some other people know what it means, but, like, no real people know what it means. So we're just going to stick with the study of knowledge, and maybe also knowledge-like substances, like understanding. So that's going to be what we're doing for now. So, okay. So, epistemology, study of knowledge and knowledge-like states. Okay. So, why give a crap about epistemology? Well, here's the thing. We're philosophers. At least, I mean, I'm a philosopher professionally, and for the purposes of being in this class, you guys are philosophers too. Aren't you happy? And we want to understand things. It's what we do in analytic philosophy. We try to take apart our ideas and get a better sense of what they mean. What do the words mean? We talk about knowing a lot, and we talk about it like it's important. It's important to know stuff. It's better if you know something than if you're just guessing or if you don't know anything. But why? What is knowing? Well, that's what we're going to try and get down to. We're going to try and pull it apart and see what the bits and pieces of knowing really are. So, okay. So, it starts with belief. That's got to be the very first thing. Now, I want to warn you, when it comes to belief, people use that term in the everyday world as kind of the opposite of knowledge. Like, do you know it, or do you just believe it? Right? That's how most people use that word. And that is not what we're doing in philosophy. That is not how we use that word in philosophy. So we're going to have to clarify a few things about belief. So the first thing is, what belief isn't. We're not just talking about a positive, supportive attitude, like a positive emotional state. I believe in you. That's not what we mean. That is not what we're talking about, small baby. Not what we're talking about at all. So anyway, okay, what belief is? Well, first of all, when we use the word belief in philosophy, we literally just mean a thought that's in your head that can be expressed in a propositional sense. A proposition. A proposition in philosophy, by the way, isn't like, hey, listen, I'll pay you $10 to mow my lawn. That would be a proposition in the usual sense. That's not what we mean in philosophy. We literally just mean a proposition is a sentence about the world. So, if you see a bee, here's my example, my stupid example. Why was I thinking about bees? I have no idea. If you see a bee out of the corner of your eye and react without ever consciously being aware of it, you don't have a belief. That's like instincts or something, right? But if you see a bee and you think, that is a bee. If you think, heavens, that's a bee, then you have had a belief. You believe that's a bee. And you can be right or wrong. Like maybe it's a yellow jacket, and you're just terrible at spotting the difference between bees and yellow jackets. Maybe it's a wasp. Maybe it is a bee. But you had a thought in your head. Your thought was, that is a bee. Belief. Best belief. That doesn't work, does it? I can't really pull that off. I feel silly for even trying, I'll be honest. So, okay. Best belief. I did it again! I can't be stopped. Alright. So, if you see a bee and you think that's a bee, and you react accordingly, you have a belief, there's a bee, and that's the basis for what you're doing. Okay. Oops, I got a little ahead. So this is belief. Alright. Now, why am I talking about belief? I thought we were supposed to be talking about knowledge. Well, knowledge starts with belief, right? You can't know something without a belief. I know where, let's start with, I know I am holding a bottle of Mountain Dew. But in order to know it, I have to have something in my brain about it. Like, let's imagine, hypothetically, that I fell asleep. We have to imagine this, because I haven't been sleeping well lately. That's a joke, but it's also true. Anyway, we have to imagine this, because I haven't been sleeping well lately. But let's imagine that while I'm sleeping, I have one foot that goes out from under the covers. Okay. Now, it's true that my foot is out from under the covers, but I don't have any corresponding mental states about that. I don't have a belief, in other words. I'm unconscious. I'm not believing anything at the moment. Okay, so knowledge has to start with belief. Like, say I wake up, and I'm like, well, that's an accurate depiction. This has been a reenactment of me waking up. So let's say I wake up, and at some point I start forming beliefs. My foot is cold. That's a belief. Why is my foot cold? That's not a belief. That's not a propositional sentence. It doesn't describe the world. It's an attitude I have. It's something I want to know, but it's not a proposition. My foot is cold is a proposition. My foot is cold. Why is my foot cold? And I think about it for a minute, and I realize that my foot is no longer under the covers. Now, the second I have that belief, my foot is sticking out from the covers. The second I have that thought, I have a belief. Okay? And then I know, right? I know my foot's sticking out from the covers. I didn't know that before. I knew my foot was cold, maybe. And then when I was asleep, I didn't know anything. I was just asleep. But I wake up and I have the thought, oh, my foot's sticking out from under the covers. And it is, so I know it. I know my foot is sticking out from under the covers. Okay. This seems accurate so far, I think. This seems like a good account so far of how we use the term to know, what we mean by knowing something. But let's notice something about this. In order to know that my foot was sticking out from under the covers, my foot actually had to be sticking out from under the covers. Like, imagine I woke up very confused, and I'm still, like, partially in my dream state, and I'm getting reality confused with my dreams, and I have the belief my foot is cold. And then when I ask myself, why is my foot cold? My first thought is, because I'm still stuck in my dream, which is a crazy dream about being outdoors and in the winter and or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what people dream about. I have very boring dreams. I have dreams about going to the grocery store and shopping for a list of 12 or 13 or 14 specific items and going down the aisles until I find them and comparing prices and then placing them in my cart and checking out and paying for them and going to my car. These are my dreams. They're dull as dirt. I don't know why. I'm a weirdo. But, where was I? Right. Dream. I wake up. My first belief, my foot is cold. My second belief, my foot is cold because I'm outdoors and I'm standing shin deep in snow. Of course my foot is cold. Do I know that? Well, obviously not, you would say. You would say, I don't know that I'm outdoors. Why? Because I'm not. I'm not outdoors. I have a belief for a minute or two at least, but I'm wrong. And that's where you're like, well, okay, so you can't know something that isn't true. We've learned something else about knowledge, haven't we? So here are some things I can't know. I can't know that bees hate me personally. I don't know what it is about bees today, by the way. I don't know why I'm so fixated on bees. I'll be honest. I have no idea. I cannot know that bees hate me personally. Why? They don't. I cannot know that 2 plus 2 equals 5. Why? Because it doesn't. I cannot know that Tulsa is the capital of Oklahoma. Why? Because it isn't. Now, I can have beliefs about all of those things. I can believe any of those things. But they're not true. So I can't know them. Okay, here are some things I can know. That bees are insects. Why? Because they are. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Rock on. Oklahoma City is the capital of Oklahoma. All those things are true. All those things are things that I can know. Okay, so we're getting closer to a conception of knowledge. We're doing well. Okay, we're getting there. So what we have is there's belief, which is just thinking something about the world. Like, Tulsa is the capital of Oklahoma, or cats are adorable. Okay. But then there's knowledge, which is having a belief and being right about it. That's it. Having a true belief. That seems to be what knowledge is. Okay. Awesome! We did it! We solved philosophy, or at least epistemology. Knowledge is true belief. Right? Right? Of course not. Would I be talking to you about this because it was that easy? I would just send you a postcard. By the way, knowledge is true belief. Enjoy the rest of your semester. That would be it. We'd be done. Okay. And that's not all there is, obviously. Sadly, that is not all there is. Okay. But why not? How can we figure out what else there is? I mean, why isn't knowledge true belief? Some of you might be saying, bullshit, knowledge is just true belief. I'll tell you why. I can believe in the sense of just having a propositional thought and not believe in the strong sense that people use it. I can believe anything. I can formulate a thought. I can formulate a thought of, oh, it's raining outside. And maybe I'm right and maybe I'm wrong. But I can think it. I can think, it's raining outside. And you know how I know I can think that? Because I just did! Pow! Philosophy. So yes, I can formulate the thought that it's raining outside. Okay. So imagine that I am just going to think about you, thinking of you. Anyway, imagine Did I do that right? Is that what kids do? Anyway, imagine that I am thinking of you, and I decide to just go through a list. Your birthday is January 1st. Your birthday is January 2nd. Your birthday is January 3rd. Your birthday is January 4th. You can see where I'm going with this, right? This is an absurd thing to be doing, but you can see where I'm going with it. Captain America is correct. I can do this all day. But I don't have to. Because there's only 365 days in the year. 366 if you count leap year. I don't have to do it all day. I can just cycle through a list of beliefs about your birthday. And here's the killer part. One of them is going to be right. Right? One of them is going to be right. You're born on one of those days. Sooner or later, I'm going to have a true belief. But nobody would say, I know what your birthday is. I'm guessing your birthday. If I guess long enough, I'll eventually get it right. But I don't know it. That's like, imagine you've got a cousin who's been kicked in the head by a mule. Why? I don't know. Maybe he had it coming. Maybe he said something rude to the mule. Who knows? But he's been kicked in the head by a mule. And now, he always thinks it's 2 o'clock. Just any time. That's what he always believes. At all times, he always thinks it's 2 p.m. Now, here's the thing. Exactly once again, he's correct. Right? But he doesn't know it's 2 p.m. He doesn't know what time it is. He's been kicked in the head by a mule, dadgummit. The man is not well. Or woman. I want to be equal opportunity here. So, it's not enough to believe and be right. You've got to believe, be right, and something else. Be right for the right reason, maybe. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. So, where does this take us? Oh no, it's about to happen. It's about to happen. Justification, baby. The magic word. Ooh, I need a sound effect to go with that. Okay. Justification is the key. At least for our purposes here. If you get into higher level epistemology, people will go, not really. But if you get into even higher level epistemology, it'll all come back to justification. So don't worry about it. For now, yes, justification. Justification is basically, when we talk about that, we mean just getting a belief in the right way. Believing that Oklahoma City is the capital of Oklahoma because it came to me in a dream, that's not justified. I didn't get that belief in the right way. Believing that it's 2 o'clock because you got kicked in the head by a mule, and that's what you always believe, you cannot get your belief about the time of day in the correct way for it to be true. Believing that Oklahoma City is the capital of Oklahoma because I looked it up in like a book about Oklahoma, that sounds like it's justified. Okay, so a true belief that is justified is going to be maybe knowledge, maybe that's knowledge, maybe we're there, but it does give us something else to think about. Because we know what a belief is, that's cool, and we have at least a rough idea of what truth is. We can complicate the hell out of that later. But what we need to do is now we've introduced a new term that we need to understand. What is justification? So, when we say that justification is getting beliefs in the right way, what we mean is getting beliefs in a way that they're probably true. Another term that philosophers use for this is truth tracking. Getting beliefs in a truth tracking way. Okay. But what ways are those? Well, I hate to tell you this, but that's where they get you. That's how they get you, man. What ways are those? Aha! And that's literally the end of the slideshow. Because that's where the conversation gets really interesting. All the stuff that we're going to be doing in the epistemology section is really about justification, for the most part. There's a few other things we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk about different people's ideas about how we know a belief is justified, about why we would think a belief is justified. So, in other words, which beliefs are going to turn out to be knowledge, if they're true, and which beliefs are going to turn out to be something else, guesses or something like that. That's where the action is. That's where the philosophical rubber meets the philosophical road, as you might have it. So, in epistemology, what we're going to be doing is thinking about justification. And we're going to work through several different ideas about that. But this video is just going to be, this is just a brief video to get your feet wet on what epistemology is and what we're going to be talking about. So I can call it there. So anyway, thank you for being here with me. It's been a real pleasure. And I hope I'll see you again soon. Was that weird enough? I feel like that was sufficiently weird. Anyway, thanks a lot. Take care. Be well. Like, subscribe, what have you. I don't know. Do whatever you got to do. Thanks for bearing with me in this crazy time of quarantine. Bye!